What is your destination?
CB21, Vancouver, do you read?
CBA21, CBA3, do you read? CBA21, do you read?
Here is the CBC National News. A Canadian Pacific airliner has crashed in rugged country in the Caribou district of British Columbia.
The wilderness made it difficult not only for rescue parties to reach the scene, but for news to come out.
This is where CP-21 plummeted to the ground.
There has been much speculation on what caused the crash. A man on the range at the time says the plane appeared to blow up in the air.
A criminal act committed by someone on board. And after 53 years, still no answers to two agonizing questions. Who did it and why?
You will know when you see it. It's spread out, so you would come across different pieces. Basically, it's all through here.
Dee Dee Henderson was 5 years old when her father was killed. She still feels the pain of that loss.
After 53 years, the ground is still so burnt. Nothing is growing here, and probably never will.
You know, people talk about twisted wreckage. Well, this is it. This is what it looks like.
And this is just one of many pieces.
Deep in the woods of the BC interior, pieces of the plane still mark the place 52 people were killed.
Somebody did this.
Yeah.
How does that change things?
Well, I mean, if it's an accident, there's nothing you can do about it. You kind of go, that's so horrible, but it's an accident, and accidents happen. But not being able to know who did it means you have no place to even focus your anger.
So here we are, 5 decades later, setting out to see if we can shed new light on a case long closed.
The weights, the load.
We don't normally give it out unless it's asked for.
Blast marks confirm explosion.
3 months.
So you want this solved?
Oh, absolutely. I think Mom does too.
Dozens of interviews.
I remember this day distinctly.
What occurred or what they saw.
Thousands of documents, many released for the first time, including reports from Transport Canada.
I mean, the new documents were even more definitive about the fact that the bomb...
And the RCMP's original investigation as they narrowed in on 4 suspects. A gambler who purchased life insurance moments before boarding. An individual described by a psychiatrist as having a deep madness toward the world. An explosives expert with a criminal record. And a young man described as a loner who may have been carrying gunpowder. What the documents don't say is which one police think planted the bomb. We took the evidence to 3 experts in 3 different fields. Larry Vance, a crash investigator.
Oh, I think it's absolute. I don't think there's any doubt that this was an explosion that brought that airplane down.
So let's take a look at the film that CBC took the day after. You can take a look at this. Not survivable?
Not survivable, no. Well, the pilots were trying their very best right till from the time that the tail came off at 16,000 feet, they were trying their level best all the way until they hit the ground.
Bill Smith, an explosives expert.
So we'll put 11 ounces of powder inside of the pail.
He helped us review the RCMP's forensics into the bomb.
They're saying there's a black powder residue, but it looks like a dynamite may have been used. You know, the question pops up, why are we using these 2 products together? It's a mystery for sure.
5-second warning.
The answer could help us figure out who made the bomb.
3, 2, 1. Holy sh! That's a lot of kick.
Finally, Mike Arntfield, criminologist, former police officer.
He insists on taking this Canadian Pacific Airlines flight by himself.
He now teaches at Western University in London, Ontario.
This is probably one of the more remarkable cold cases in Canadian history. It is so unusual, and yet there is little to nothing that's been written on it, and very few people know about it, and yet it is so compelling, and as a case that lends itself to modern cold case methodologies, is a real watershed case.
Mike will also use a computer algorithm to compare the bombing of CP-21 to similar crimes. During the next 4 weeks, our team at the National and CBC podcasts will be revealing what we've found.
Back in 1965,
following up on new leads.
I asked him point blank, I said, do you know who did it? And he said, we have a very good idea.
And hearing more from those who lived with the stigma.
They want someone to blame. And if a dead guy is an easy target.
All of this to shed new light on a Canadian crime story that many of us have never heard of. A decades-old mass murder that some family members hope will someday be solved.